Hey everyone, it's Holly and welcome to my August wrap-up. I feel like I haven't filmed in forever. I don't think I have filmed in forever, but that's okay. So I think this is going to be the setup for filming for most videos, so I don't know. Hopefully it'll work. I found my tripod, which is awesome, but I'm missing one piece for it, so I don't know. Apparently I'm a crazy person. So let's get on with the August wrap-up. So I read 6 books in the month of August. It was actually a very busy month for me. I'm really embarrassed by this. I'm not unpacked yet, and I knew this was going to happen, and I'm really upset about it because I knew my life would get crazy and I would find reasons not to unpack, and that is exactly what has happened. So I'm trying to break it down into small things, which will hopefully take like the stress out of unpacking. This is usually our busy season, like the end of August, beginning of September, but I've been at my company for 5 years, like 5 busy seasons, and it has never been this busy. So, and now that I'm like a supervisor, I feel like I need to step up even more. Like, I'm not even getting my work done because I'm helping the people like I supervise get their work done because it's so busy. So that definitely cut into my reading. I also read some pretty big books in the month of August, and I unfortunately don't have books to show you because 5 of them were library books, which I've already had to return, and then 1 was a reread, which I own, but I have no idea where it went. I like cleaned my bedroom a week or 2 ago, and I remember moving it because it was just sitting on the floor, and I have no idea where I moved it to. Also, I do have my like sliding glass door to my balcony open, and I live really close to a road, so if it's kind of loud road noise, I'm sorry. That's probably one of my only complaints about my new apartment, is the building I am in is very close to the road, and with the doors closed it's fine, but with the doors open it can be a little loud. But let's talk about books, not my living situation. So first, I read The Shadows by J.R. Ward. I just went to the library and I saw it and I picked it up. This had come out last year and I didn't pick it up. I've talked about this before. I really only like my romances in mass market paperback. And I was reading this when I did my July wrap-up. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I did really like it. It's like the 14th or 13th book or something in the Black Dagger Brotherhood. It comes after the King. This is about, I don't know how to say their names. I just say like, I say Trey. I feel like it might be Trez. It's T-R-E-Z, and then I am, who's been in it for a long time, and it was very interesting. They're brothers. They are part of like the vampire culture, but they're a little different. And then there's also all of the other side storylines going on. And I can't remember if it was this one or The Beast, which I also read this month, that I really started to like Layla. I've been a little like on her storyline, but now I'm like getting super into it, and that'll be the next book in the series, which comes out next year. I did really like this story though. It was that, like all day long, that. I did enjoy it overall. I did give it 4 stars. I thought some of it was a little frustrating. Some things happened I wasn't expecting, but I'm grateful that J.R. Ward did it. I think she made some risky choices, but it's gotta happen. Then I read Blood Kiss, which is like a spin-off series. It's the first book in a spin-off series. It's called The Black Dagger Legacy, and you meet these characters, especially the heroine, whose name, I think her name was like Paradise. I think it was Paradise in the previous book, in like in the Shadows, so in the Black Dagger Brotherhood books. This felt a little bit like a return to the early Black Dagger Brotherhood books because it's more about like a small group of people kind of coming together. I'm hoping that's what ends up happening, like they become kind of a family, and because basically what it is the Black Dagger Brotherhood opening up their training school again and allowing anyone to join. So Paradise joins, even though like she's from the aristocracy and everything. So it's all of that. I did enjoy it. I don't remember what I said. I gave it 4 stars. I gave every book but one book I read this month 4 stars. It was definitely insta-lovey and everything. That's kind of what these books are, though, because the way the vampires function is it's kind of like a intrinsic hormonal connection. This happens a lot in paranormal, so you kind of just have to like throw caution to the wind and just embrace it. But it was a little frustrating. So I am curious to see what goes on as the series continues, because I think there's some really interesting characters here, and I hope they get really developed. Then I read The Beast, which is the latest Black Dagger Brotherhood book. And this one is like a return to Mary and Rage's story, who are probably my second favorite couple in the series. And I did really like it. I gave it 4 stars. I like that J.R. Ward is taking the opportunity to revisit couples, and she's not straying necessarily from like the contract that I believe all romances have, but she's also showing that just because 2 people end up together doesn't mean life is perfect from then on. Like, they have struggles that they have to deal with, and they have to communicate and all of those things. And there was an addition of another character into their lives and into the story that I really enjoyed. I thought it added an interesting opportunity for development in Mary and Rage's story, and I'm very interested to see how that continues. It looks like it'll be like the B plot in the next Black Dagger Legacy book and everything, which I don't mind them being intermingled like that. But I could see other people being upset by it, because you shouldn't like, I'm sure you don't have to read both, but I think you get more by reading both, basically. So after reading that, I really wanted to reread Lover Eternal, which was the second book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood, and that's Mary and Rage's original story. This is the book I gave 5 stars. I do still really enjoy it. Like I said, they're my second favorite couple, and while it does have that insta-lovey stuff thing, it's mostly on Rage's end, which I really enjoy, because then Mary is like, is wrong with you. And I don't know, I just really like it. It's a very cute story. It's very dark. It's also the introduction of my faves, Bella and Zadist, and then John Matthew gets introduced, and he's probably one of my other favorite characters, along with like his mate. And then there was just so many things that I had forgotten about, like about Torment and Wellesley, and if you've read the books then you know what I'm talking about. I'm just like blabbing now. It was kind of nice to go back there. I did want to reread Lover Awakened after this, because I'm such a sucker for Bella and Zadist, but I kind of forced myself not to do it. I don't know if that was a mistake or not, but I did read Brown Eyed Girl by Lisa Kleypas, which was another book that came out last year and I did not buy. So I ended up getting it from the library this year. I had just heard mixed reviews, and again, it was published in hardcover, which I own 2 of the other books in this series, and they're both in mass market paperback. So this is like the 4th No One Knew It Was Gonna Ever Happen Travis book, and I didn't know that I needed a book about Joe Travis, but apparently I did. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was very cute. It was definitely lacking in certain areas. I think Blue Eyed Devil and Smooth Talking Stranger are definitely the 2 like stars in this series, but I thought this was better than Sugar Daddy. And I really connected with the heroine. She was very interesting, and Joe's a pretty great guy, so you know. And then the last book I read was Fortune's Pawn by Rachel Bach, who's also Rachel Aaron. And I've heard things about this. I think Sarah from Books and Junk, is she even still making videos? I don't know. I don't really watch BookTube videos right now, which I feel horrible making BookTube videos and not talking or not watching them. But I'm just in a very weird place right now. But she talked about these a lot, and then I do like the Heartstrikers books by Rachel Aaron. I've been reading a lot of sci-fi. These are like sci-fi futuristic stories. So I've been watching both Dark Matter and Killjoys on Sci-Fi, and I think that's really what drove me to do this, is I kind of wanted a book version of that. That happens a lot, where like I'll want to watch a TV show that's a version of whatever book I'm reading, and vice versa. So I did get it from the library. I gave it 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. It took me a little while to fully get into it, but I think the characters are interesting. I like that. I like the world. Like, it's obviously a very fleshed out and understood world. Like, Rachel Fox/Aaron understands her world so well. Like, she mentions such minor things that feel so natural, and to me that's like really solid world building. I think the main character is a little reckless, and sometimes that bothers me, but it's within her personality and her career choices and everything, so it does make sense. There's kind of like a romance. I don't know what's going to happen with it continuing on. I hope it continues. I do really enjoy that. I'm intrigued by a lot of the characters. I actually have books 2 and 3. I had to wait for my library to get them from another library, but I do plan on reading those soon because I want to know what happens. And I don't really read a lot of sci-fi, if I'm completely honest, so it's going to be interesting. So those are the books that I read. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below, and I will get to them eventually. I'm really sorry. I'm really bad about getting back to comments. Every week I put it on my to-do list, and every week I don't do it. But I will do it someday. That's all I can promise you. That makes me a horrible person, I know, but it's the facts. So thank you so much for watching.